Yes, welcome, my friends, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. Welcome back to FranOps Live. I'm sorry, everyone. You missed me last week. I know it's Thanksgiving break, and so I apologize. You didn't get a chance to see this beautiful bald head. Anyway, we're back though. And this month, man, I'm really excited for this month for a few reasons. And today is probably the biggest because we're bringing back my good friend, Justin Livingston, who we've actually had on here before. I know many of you are new to the group, so you might not have seen it. You might have missed it. That's okay. He actually is the franchise developing director for a number of different brands. And we brought him on to talk about Ziggy's Coffee. So today I'm drinking my coffee in honor of my good friend Justin. And man, I'm so excited because him and his team have been able to help thousands of individuals in entrepreneurs become business owners and pursue and achieve their own personal and professional goals. And that's why he's here to help us do the exact same thing. They've also helped franchise some other brands too, like the Coyote Ugly bar, like the world-renowned party bar. It's incredible what they've been able to do and achieve. And now Justin's here to talk about their newest brand that they're helping develop and grow, Tapster. And I can't wait to unpack this one with you. They have 4 company-owned units. They're actually bringing on their first signed franchisee. I think he said today or tomorrow. We'll talk about that again in this interview. But here's my point: that if you're looking for the next best thing, you're looking for an opportunity that is about community, building community, that is about creating fun, creating a space that people want to gather, and where memories and moments are created that can become a foundational part of other people's lives. That's what Tapster is all about. And it is a highly unique experience. Unless you probably haven't seen this anywhere else. Most of you have not even seen this concept yet. And so when you talk about new, like this is brand spanking new. I can't wait to unpack it with you. So without further ado, let's begin FranOps Live with Justin and Tapster. Justin, my man, welcome to the greatest group in the entire metaverse, man. I'm so pumped you're back, dude. Good to see you.
I'm pumped to be back. Also, I want the FranOps Live, the soundtrack, by the way. You have the best music in all franchises.
It gets you in a groove, doesn't it? Get you going.
I'm over here jamming, then it's like your camera's on. I'm like, oh, be cool,
yeah.
be cool.
be cool. No, it's good. I saw you chilling and I saw you kind of grooving in the background. Yeah, that was awesome. You got some moves as well, which is probably from your background helping out with Coyote Ugly as well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you've learned some dance moves of your own there. But man, welcome for real. This is genuinely a joy and a pleasure of mine to have you on. So I'm excited you're here, man. Let's dive right in. So you guys are on a new venture this year with this brand Tapster.
Yes, we
are. Me up, man. Tell me a little bit about the story. Tell me a little bit about the brand, what it is and why it's unique.
Absolutely. So it is unique and it's awesome, and it's going to take franchising by storm next year in 2025. We're very excited about it.
Yeah.
You'd know me a long time. For me, it's all people. And so this story starts with the founder, Roman. He's just one of those guys that you meet and you're like, I want what he's drinking. I want to do what he's doing. Like, he's that guy. And then as a franchisee, when he's the one leading the charge, and we've got this really robust team that we'll talk about, but when you've got Roman and you meet him, you're like, here, take my money. Like, show me how it's done. I will follow you, because
one of those personalities.
Yeah, he's passion. He is excitement. He's just love and community and all these amazing things. And if you don't have that as a foundation, it didn't really matter what else you're doing, right? I mean, you have to have that. And, that's always part of our origin story, is finding amazing founders. And Roman with Tapster started this himself. He was a one-man show. He has since built this amazing kind of empire, depth of bench of people that just are the very best at what they do in marketing and communications and operation, maybe, franchise development a little bit. And it just making sure that when a franchisee comes in or when a customer comes in, it is the very, very best experience.
Yeah. And so tell me about your relationship with them, because I think sometimes that can be confusing sometimes too for individuals that I'm speaking with. Like when I connect them to an individual,
right,
I like to let them know, like, hey, this is, I'm connecting you with this person and here's their role in the entire process. So, you and your team, what do you do with Tapster?
So me and my team, all we do is protect the brand. We're like blockers for Roman. So we want to make sure that we're building our family with only the very best people. Mm-hmm. And so that's our job. We get people like you, you're obviously one of the best around, and we appreciate how picky you are about who you work with and how you do it. Yeah. But we're picky with who we work with and how we do it as well. And so when we have good connections from good folks like you, they make an introduction. And then we date for a while. We got to make sure we like each other, and we ask all the hard questions, and we put together plans. And so that's what me and my team does. Our first job is to be like, this is who we are. Still interested? Okay. Here's some more information.
Haven't scared them away yet.
Okay. Right. And so we just go through this mutual investigation. As much as they're learning about us, we're learning about them. Are they the right culture? Are they the right fit? Are they well capitalized to stay safe? Are they asking the right questions? Do they want to take the right role? Right. All of these things to make sure that when we do get to the altar, in the absence of a crystal ball, we feel like we've both answered all of the tough questions enough to make a really good decision about each other. And that's really what my team does.
Last time you were on here, I stole some language from you that I use pretty frequently now. I believe you call your team brand protectors.
Absolutely right.
They're not salesmen. They're not just developers. Nope. They are brand protectors, and that's such good language to understand your role and your team's role in the process. That your goal is to protect the brand, not to sell franchises to individuals who want to own a business. Yeah, it's to protect. So that there's so much that goes into that. So tell us a little bit about what that looks like with Tapster. What does it mean to protect that brand? Like really, like what kind of owners maybe are we looking for here?
Yeah, I think that brand and the brand protection, it translates both ways, right? So if we're doing our job of protecting the brand, nobody likes to be sold. Nobody likes salespeople. Right. But what we do is we're kind of truth tellers, man. We go out there and we tell a story, and we're very transparent and we're very honest. And I always say, you get off a first phone call with me and, maybe we talk about the brand, but I'll tell you this, I have 3 kids, that I coach soccer, that my wife and I used to play soccer, what we do, about the charity I started, and then maybe we talked about Tapster. And I know all of that about you too, because we're just in the relationship business. Mm-hmm. Get to that point where we know each other, we like each other, we trust each other, then we can dig in. Yeah. Then there's no sales pitch of like, let me tell you about Tapster. Look over here. There is no distraction. Let me tell you our story in an authentic and genuine way. You tell me yours. And if we meet each other, we'll keep digging and we'll keep digging and we'll dig to the point where you know what you need to know about us. And we need to know about you, to either say we're better off as friends, which is fine. And then I say, go talk to my boy Jared and he'll find you a different concept. Or this is a great decision for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. And that's so much of what my entire process is with individuals as well. If those of you watching this live or watching this later, that's what I do is I help understand you as an individual, as an entrepreneur on such a close, intimate level that I can then make the best recommendations I can possibly find for you as an individual pursuing ownership. Because I'm not going to just connect you to Justin if I don't think this is a good fit for you. If you're someone who really wants to be in the pet care space, I'm not going to introduce you to Justin. That's not this one. But today we're talking about Tapster. And so walk me through an experience. Like if I'm a guest, if I'm a guest walking into a Tapster, what is that experience like? What kind of sets that apart? What am I'm paying with? What am I getting to drink? Walk me through the whole experience.
I love it. So I'll save the origin story for Roman at a different time because he's brilliant at telling it. But the word Tapster itself is where it all begins. So way, way back, the word Tapster was the person who tapped the keg. They were the bartenders. And so we've named it that because it's really about imparting that control to you. So you walk in, you're the man, you're the tapster, you're the one in charge. So what does that mean? Pause here for things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say since COVID, but whatever the reason is, something changed over the last 5 years, and it's generational, and it's COVID related, and it's all these things. But there's a societal change that's happened where people want to be in control. And so, there's still people, a lot of people like me, where I want it all. I want the show. I want the whole thing. And then there's people who are like, no, I don't want somebody else making my drink. I don't want the peer pressure to go out and feel like I have to order. Like non-alcoholic NA is huge in every bar right now, right? But there's still a bit of a stigma, and even if it's in somebody's mind, about going to a bar and ordering a non-alcoholic drink, a mocktail or a non-alcoholic beer or wine. And so with this, it doesn't matter. You have this wall of taps. And when this concept of self-pour kind of first started, you'd walk into this like dark, dank man cave kind of place, and there's 54 IPAs on, and then I think we have a bottle of wine in the back, right? and that just doesn't do it anymore. In fact, that whole culture has changed as well. But when you walk into a Tapster, as you kind of saw in your sizzle reel there at the beginning, it's light, it's bright, it's welcome for young, old, men, women, everything in between, every group. And we'll talk about some of those kind of cool groups and what's happened. But when you walk in, you put your credit card down and you get a card. And then you go to this tap wall, and the tap walls have somewhere between 40 and 60 taps. So that's number one. On that tap wall, it's a bunch of iPads that you go up and you put your card up on it, and that opens that tap up. And before you do that, you can read all about the drink, where it comes from, who the brewer is, who the distiller is, all these kinds of things. So sometimes it's just like me. I want to learn. I want to learn about what's cool, what's local, what's happening. But there's different categories, and there's really something for everybody. So you've got IPAs, you've got stouts, you've got big beers, then you've got not so big beers. But then we have ciders, and then we have hard kombucha, which if you love kombucha, it's not me. But people who love it. My wife loves it. I don't love it.
Well,
but
there
my wife loves it. So kombucha.
Somebody does.
Somebody does. A lot of people do, actually. Roman does. And so there's kombuchas. There's cocktails. We brew cocktails and keg cocktails in house, and so you can pull a margarita off. There's mocktails. There's non-alcoholic beers. There's non-alcoholic drinks. There's wines you saw on the reel. There's just something for everybody. So back in the day where you go and you're like, listen, I can only drink a little bit of this IPA, and I appreciate that there's 50 of them, but it's not really my jam. You can go up there. You don't have that. If there is that stigma of I really like ciders, but I don't want to go to a bar and order a cider or a rosé, or you just go pull it, man. And you can try all of them. And it's kind of a cool, I'm a sampler guy. Like I like to try all the different things from different breweries, or, different styles of Belgians or whatever it is. And it's all right there. So I can go up there and it's paid by the ounce. So I put my card on.
Oh, like a froyo place.
Yeah, kind of like that. Exactly. Froyo for adults, although I like froyo too. But
throw some sprinkles on your beer.
Yeah, that's right. So you go up with your card, that opens up the tab, and you pay by the ounce. So you can go and you can have 1 ounce of everything, or you can go, I know that I like this drink, and you can pour a full pint of it. So you're in control of what you drink, when you drink, how much you drink, if you want non-alcoholic, and you don't have to go stand at a bar. You don't have to stand in line. And you go to a bar and there's these big lines. And if you want to do, so we have, let's say 50 taps, that means that 50 people can simultaneously be pouring a beer. The labor cost for me to have bartenders to serve 50 drinks at the same time at Tapster, it's zero.
Right.
So from an owner standpoint, everybody is, so they have the freedom and control, but also you're saving on labor because you've got somebody checking people in. You've got a host, because some people go, I don't know how this works. Well, let me show you. Let me tell you. Let me go up. Let me buy your first half a beer, that kind of thing. And then you've got somebody back at house changing out kegs and washing glasses. That's it. So the labor stays way down. The control stays into the consumer's hands, which they love. And it's just a really amazing experience that can be customized for each individual customer that walks through the door.
Yeah, it sounds like an owner then, like are your owners, are they going to be mostly executive over the top? Or are they going to be like active there?
I guess in general, I would say I don't believe in absentee ownership. I mean, there's a scale probably where that works, but passive ownership, I think is definitely a thing. You don't need to live at your bar. You may very well have a GM, but you need to be present. This is a, you mentioned community earlier, and this really is a location that becomes part of the community. And there are so many stories, even from our corporate locations, of an older couple who comes every Tuesday, or the couple that met there and then eventually proposed there and had an engagement party there that Roman threw for them. Or there's many cool community type stories that if you're not there as an owner, there's just something missing. So you don't have to, I said, live there, but you need to be present. You need to be there. You need to interact. It is very local in that respect. So
like, they're going to be single units then?
Could be. I think in franchising, the recipe is almost always multiple units, unless it's not your goal. One of the things that we talk about in that kind of keeping people and brands safe is I'm not here to tell you what your definition of success is. If you go, I'm doing this, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to open a bar and I want to be there all day, every day and run it. Awesome. I think conventional wisdom says the objective in most franchise concepts is to be multiple units and kind of build on that empire. Awesome. It depends on what your definition of success is. But I think everybody will start with one. Everybody will be involved. You'll kind of get a GM that that you trust. Maybe they become kind of an operational partner. Maybe they have some skin in the game. But you know that you can take them and leave them in your bar, and they're a good representation of you so that you can go do the next one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But even still, so friends, if you're listening to this and you're looking at, you envision owning multiple units of whatever you're investing into, and you're interested in this space, like consider the alternatives to being in any kind of drink, beverage, and or food space, that the labor is going to be ridiculous. Like, it's not even comparable. Like you don't really have it compared to other options you're looking at multi-unit wise, which is so unique.
Yep, absolutely. You can keep your, and same with cost of goods. While we're on the owners kind of section of this, we don't do food. It's a bring your own food. So here's the cool thing. This is small business.
They can bring food in.
Yeah. Cool. So this is small business supporting small business, which is really, really cool. So we go into areas that have restaurants around them, and they can put QR codes or menus and, DoorDash and all the different things, so that when I go in there, again, we're back to control for the consumer. I can drink anywhere I want, or I can drink anything I want. I can drink as much as I want. I can eat anything I want when I want. I'm not trying to flag down a server. I go, you know what? Tonight, Thai sounds great. There's a cool Thai place down the street. You order Thai, it comes. Now you're eating noodles. And, while your buddy's eating pizza and the guy across the room is eating wings. Like, it doesn't matter. You're in control of if you eat, when you eat, where you eat, how you eat. And all of the local businesses, they love you because you're bringing people in and you're supporting their business without them having the labor and the servers and all of that kind of thing. So everybody wins.
Yeah, that's so good. Tell me some of the success about it so far. Give me some of the biggest wins. I know you and I were talking just before we started this of some of the bigger exciting moments so far in the life of Tapster. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm an emerging guy, so I love brands in their infancy because there's just so much excitement of what can be.
The potential, the ceiling.
And so we've done very little in the way of like actual true marketing lead generation. We've just kind of told our story authentically through different channels of people who come to us like you and go, hey, let's tell this story. And so that's how we've done. And the response is crazy. First of all, people go, this is a thing? Because in a lot of markets, this isn't yet a thing. Or maybe there's some version of it, or they went to a pizza place that had 2 self-pour taps and, not like this. And so, and there's very little, almost no competition in the space, specifically in franchising. There's nobody that's doing it like we do it or as good as we do it. So
I don't know if you're going to believe this or not, Justin, but I haven't seen this concept in the metropolis I live in Des Moines.
I do believe it.
So I haven't seen it yet.
No, I do, and that's the story that I get from most. So most people are like, so I don't understand. Like, I can go in and just pour my drink. Yes. When I want to leave, what do? You just drop your card in a bucket, and there's like different buckets for, tips and that kind of stuff. You don't need to interact with anybody. And crazy. So you talk about stories. I'm gonna tell the stories. I've heard Roman say it a couple times. So it was in the Philly bar. We found this group that kept coming in, and we as we get to learn about them and all of our consumers, we realized there's a deaf population probably in every market, but they have groups and clubs and they do things together, just like people of interest groups or whatever. So the deaf community, they really stick together to look out for each other because, life can be hard. Life at a bar, think of that. You can't hear. And how do you communicate with a bar? How frustrating that must be to go to a busy bar and try to get the bartender's attention, communicate what you want without being able to really go back and forth. Not here, man. You go in, you get your card, and you have to talk to anybody. You don't have to interact with anybody. So we have these really cool groups that come in. And you go,
introvert's dream.
Oh, totally. I'm going to go sit in the corner. I want to drink. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to interact. I don't want to get hit on by a bartender. I don't God knows what goes into the drink. There's so many risks out there that people are worried about, especially in the younger generations. When you go a girls' night out, and I mean, I've got two daughters and they're nowhere near drinking age yet, but I've already got the spiel, right? When they get older of like, you never lose sight of your drink. You never have an open topic. It's a real concern. It's the world not here, not here, man, because you're in control. You never lose possession. So there's all these cool little niches that I think can happen that can make people find this safe, inclusive, welcoming environment where everybody can get the exact experience. And it doesn't have to be the same. I walk in, I'm loud, I want to meet everybody. I can have that experience. To your point, if I want to go sit in the corner and not talk to anybody, I can have that experience. So it's a dream for everybody, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I want it. We got to get one here in Des Moines. That's for sure.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the costs. What's it going to look like for someone? Is this a complete new build out as well, or is it you're renovating space? Or tell me about the cost and the investment.
It's usually renovation. So we talk about $1 million investment. It could be that, right? Depending on what market. If you're in a really big market, a really expensive market, and you walk into a vanilla shell where you have to do everything, absolutely could be $1 million. It could also be a lot less, right? I mean, you're not doing kitchens and hoods and grease traps and all of that kind of stuff. It's very, very simple. The technology piece, there's a certain obvious cost to that, but it's really decor. I mean, you saw we do like the pergola swing seats, which are awesome.
Yeah.
We also do, I guess this is kind of a sidebar, but we do the swing seats, we do tables, we do stadium seating, we do community tables. So when you walk into a location, there's a variety of different options. So same thing. If I'm by myself, there's an option. If I'm with a group of friends, it's an option. If I want to have a meeting or an event, it's an option. The event space here, like to think of walking in and renting the place out for a Christmas holiday party or work party or retreat or something. And you don't have to worry about what people want or ordering. You just go, here's your card, knock yourself out. Yeah. You can put limits on it. I mean, the event piece of this, I think, is something that we're continuing to really dig in and explore. And I think that's going to be really, really huge. But back to your question, I think if you're $1 million up top, I think if it was something like this before, if you're renovating the space, it can obviously be significantly less than that. But you're not usually doing buy and build. You're finding a spot, an inline spot of some type in those busy areas where it's already our Lexington new franchisee. Holy smokes. It's right across from Rupp Arena. There's the Opera House Convention Center, the arena right there. And then across is this, like, if you know the Lexington market, it's a really, really cool bar scene. We're right on the corner. So if you're going to a convention, you walk by the bar. If you're going out for lunch, you walk by the bar. You're going to a game, you walk by the bar. It's the only one. It's got a big patio. It's just going to be, that one probably opens in, it'll be open before March Madness come hell or high water.
Oh, so, that's you get smart. You got to be for sure.
Totally in a college town. So
yeah, right.
So that's kind of the range, man. I think, we always tell people, like, go get pre-qualified, again, keeping people safe, go get qualified. And we've got great partners to do that. Get qualified for up to $1 million. And if it's less than that, awesome. Shorter runway to profitability.
Right. Yeah, that's so good. And it seems like the culture of a Tapster is so different from like it's not your traditional club. It's not a club. It's not your traditional like sports bar that you go to have TVs all the way around. It's not any of that. It's a completely different culture. It's almost like I don't know how you would explain it. It's almost like a mix of like between a coffee shop that does beer instead and
if you had
very
like
unique.
If you could think of like your coolest friend who had the coolest house with the coolest basement that you could just go hang with, that's what this is, right? That's awesome. It's that spot where you can just go hang out, be yourself, do what you want. You're in control, no pressure. Everybody's welcome. It's community, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. a friend that charges you, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so good. So tell me, what's 2025 hold for Tapster? What's the plan moving forward? I know you mentioned the events a little bit, but what else you got on the docket?
I think we're going to start telling people the secret, which is that we're here and we're ready to rock and roll, and we can change people's lives and be on this journey with them. You use that. I like you use that word journey a lot when you and I talk, and I love it. I love the sentiment of being with somebody on their journey to business ownership, to success, to creating a legacy, to changing their world, whatever it is. It is a journey, and what a blessing to be a part of that. And so 2025, we're going to shout it from the rooftops. And I think people are going to be blown away at what the opportunity is. You know, it's not the most expensive franchise around. It's not the least expensive franchise around. It's in this kind of sweet spot that people can get in.
Yeah.
Be really profitable, do something they can be passionate about, be a part of the community, and just offer something unique and different. This isn't a different version of something that's out there. I mean, you could go, yeah, it's a bar. Kind of. It's a hangout. It's a new thing completely, offering control. And I tell you, as you kind of talk about the different generations, how often do we find ourselves talking about how do you talk to Gen X? How do you talk to millennials? How do you talk to boomers? How do you talk to whatever it is? Well, I'm probably much older than you, but how do you talk to these different generations? The one common thread is that they want to have these spaces where they can be in control. This is why you're seeing the rise of technology and in every facet of business. You're seeing the order ahead. You're seeing really robust apps. You're seeing the kiosk screens, especially the younger generations. They don't really want that interaction. And a lot of it probably is because they were in school when everything went online and everything was virtual. I mean, there has to be some degree of that. But the reality is they want to be in control. For whatever reason, generationally that is, they want to be in control. So I think when you find out, when we tell people, when we shout from the rooftops, when people like you start offering opportunities like this, which we so appreciate, it's going to be one of those things that everybody's like, how do I get in on that? How do I become part of that? And 2025 is going to be really exciting. Yeah,
that's a spot on, friends. Those of you watching later, if you're watching later, again, of course, reach out to me. But still, if you're watching now, like now is the time to jump on this because it's going to take off this next year, and you can be a part of that. And so if you're like me, if you're like Justin, if you love the emerging concepts, looking for the best emerging concepts, not just because it's emerging, but you're looking for the right opportunity at the right time. That's where we're at right now today, as we're doing this live December 2024. So let's begin a conversation. That's really where it would start, is just here with us. And so if you're either in the chat now or later, type Tapster in the chat and we'll reach out. We'll begin a conversation and just kind of see if this is, first of all, if this is a good fit for you. We're going to have a conversation then about, are you a good fit for them? And we'll kind of go from there. It's a long runway. Type it in the chat does not say you're signing up for this. It's saying, hey, I want to learn more and see if this is a good fit. That's really where the convo begins. Justin, give me your last, why this over a number of any of your competitors or any other similar concepts that someone could invest into?
Yeah, I think for all the things we've said, for the team, the depth of bench, the people that are involved in this, I only surround myself with these type of people that they have your back in a way that is profoundly different than most people in franchising. And it's just really, that's an important thing to me. But I think the world has changed, right? Cost. How many times do you hear in the news about costs, or you talk about businesses, restaurants going out of business because cost of goods just continue to inflate to a point where, I mean, at some point we're either going to be paying $25 for a burger, or that burger joint isn't going to be around anymore. And so all of those things, labor costs keep going up. It's hard to staff places and it's expensive to staff places, and minimum wages in certain markets continue to rise. So when everything is on the rise, to bring a concept where labor, not a big factor. Cost of goods, not really a big factor. We're so excited to be able to say, you don't have to do that. You don't have to be impacted by these things right now that are just out of control. You can have a concept that you can be passionate about, that you can be super profitable, and that you don't have to get bogged down with the things that are bogging down a lot of us in food and beverage right now.
Yeah, that's so good. Justin, last question. What's your favorite drink? When you're going to Tapster, what kind of a beer are you going after?
I used to be like the biggest, gnarliest IPA that you got, but and I'm old now, man. Like that doesn't agree with me anymore. So now I'm a lager guy, man. I'm a little embarrassed to say I used to be like the bigger the better. Now I'm like, oh, that makes my tummy hurt. So but the good news is at a Tapster, it doesn't matter. I can go get what I want and tell people it is what it is.
There you go. That's so good. And you got no idea how old I am.
I don't.
I throw people off. They have no idea whether I'm old or young. It's the bald hair look too. It's like
the boyish looks, the bald head. You're like, he could be 18, he could be 50. I don't know.
It's so good, my friend. I appreciate you so much. Genuinely, I can't wait to do it again in 2025 when we're talking about. Maybe we bring on the owner or the founder and let's share his story, or maybe we're talking about your next newest exciting brand as well, or we'll do an update on Ziggy's or some other of your concepts that are doing so well. But friends, again, throw in the chat Tapster if you're ready to learn a little more and just kind of get a conversation going, see if this is the right fit for you. But until then, my friend, I hope you have a great Christmas, a good New Year, and we'll see you again 2025. All right.
Appreciate you. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We'll see you later.